Behold! In my hands is the new Corpus Speargun called the FERROX, and the FERROX is excellent. Allow me to tell you a little bit about its stats, what I think it's good for. The secondary fire is amazing, and I'm going to demonstrate that. This weapon's base stats are, as you see here, we have 30% crit chance. Awesome, that's the Soma. Critical multiplier is really, really good. That fire rate kind of sucks. Got a bigger magazine than the Javlock, which is nice, and a pretty fast reload, and it's a charge weapon. It does puncture damage. Basically, the way this weapon fires is you charge it up, and as soon as the charge is finished, it fires. So not when you release the button, it's just when the charge is done, it shoots. So that's a bit annoying because this is a critical weapon, you want to go for headshots, but it's kind of hard because you have to track your target, and then, oh, I hope your dot's on the head when it fires. So it's a bit unwieldy, and then just like the Javlock, you can throw it. But when you throw it, as you see, there's just a little lightning effect. It's not an explosion like the Javlock. Allow me to explain. So if you have some enemies just running around and you throw the FERROX at them, it will create chains of lightning that will connect them together and prevent them from leaving the area that your spear is in. It looks like that one of them got out. But as you can see, it will keep them all together. It will suck them in and bundle them up, and then you can take care of them with your AoE weapon of choice, like the Pox. So that's really good. That's really good, because you can potentially devastate a large group of enemies. If you got a swarm of enemies coming into your defense point or whatever, you can just chuck this down, group them all together, and then fire some kind of, like the Coal Star, or I just use the Pox, or like a punch-through weapon like the Atomos, or a punch-through shotgun, or just use a melee weapon or whatever. You could do crazy stuff, mow them all down, they'll all be stuck together. I think that's really, really strong. So again, I just got this, I don't have this leveled up, I'm just gonna tell you what I think you should build on it. So here we are. So it's base damage, base damage, and then Point Strike and Vital Sense, obviously, for sure. If you're going to mod for anything, you might as well mod for the primary fire, because the secondary fire doesn't really seem to be affected by anything. So just go ahead and mod for the primary fire, even if you're not going to use it. I'd recommend that you put on bladed rounds. I wouldn't recommend Argon Scope, because it's going to be kind of hard to hit the head with the way the charge time works. If you feel ballsy, or you have a Warframe with a lot of CC like Vauban, and you're going to hold enemies in place and then aim at their head and shoot, I bet that'll do sick damage. Go for it, that sounds awesome. But I have not chosen to do that yet. And then I put on a lot of charge rate, because personally I think the hardest thing about shooting this weapon is that charge time. So this is how fast it is with the charge rate. You remember before it was like I'd have to wait and then it would fire? Now it's like that. You can kind of just shoot it, which is pretty nice, right? Like, that's a lot better. And I want to stress that this weapon does insane damage already, so I really don't think that you need to put that much damage on it. Like, I can definitely see if you want to take one of these off, like, okay, 2 might be a little bit overkill, but like you take Speed Trigger off, it's barely even changing it, and then you put like Corrosive on here, and then Bladed Rounds, or like just Corrosive in place of this, and you form this off or whatever, and put on Argon Scope and Bladed Rounds. Cool, awesome, I'm sure you do sick damage. This weapon does tons of damage. If you've been around on my channel for a while, you know that this is the kind of weapon that would fit into the loadouts that I do pretty well. I'm sure that pretty soon a loadout that this is perfect for will reveal itself. So, why don't you all tell me in the comments what you think is the best way to take advantage of the fact that this groups enemies together. Remember, it can't be a primary, you can't say Tonkor, because this will be your primary, so it can be a secondary, it can be a Warframe, it can be a melee, it can be a Sentinel if somehow that makes sense. And just tell me what you think we should do, and possibly I will, if there's a good idea, I will take it and I'll make that video sometime in the next couple weeks. So get to it, come up with sick ideas so that we can make the nastiest video possible. I will see if anyone comes up with my ideas so far as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions about this weapon, please leave them in the comments. I'll get to you as soon as possible. Have a nice rest of your day. See you next time.